Tire pressure monitoring systems have become a very confusing and complex part of the tire sales and service industry. Whether you like it or not, if you sell or service tires, you're in the TPMS business. For many tire dealers, this growth category has become increasingly difficult to manage. Did you know there are over 1,400 unique OEM and aftermarket sensor part numbers from dozens of manufacturers, many requiring their own unique servicing parts, fitment options, programming instructions, with technology and hardware that may not be interchangeable with each other. For example, take the 2007 Chevy Tahoe. There are over 61 compatible sensors using different technologies, and each with unique service requirements. And each year this number continues to grow. There are many pre-service warning conditions that may disable the ability to even service a TPMS system. For example, is my scan tool compatible? Will I be able to perform the service? There are over 130 unique relearn procedures that are spread across 3 different types of technology. In fact, many vehicles have 2 or 3 separate relearn procedures based on a very simple difference in its production. There are several unique TPMS rubber valve stem designs that look nearly identical to one another. The truth is, many have their own servicing requirements and most are not interchangeable with each other. In 1 year, the Nissan Juke had 3 different OE sensors, and each has its own servicing requirements. Notice that all 3 sensors are produced by different manufacturers. There are many recalls and technical service bulletins from the OEMs about TPMS that may inhibit your ability to service your customer. There are many new parts being introduced every day by the OEM that a tire dealer has no information on or access to. Many vehicle manufacturers have been moving from direct systems to indirect systems and may change back to direct in the future. With all these changes and complexity in the market, information is the key to becoming proficient and remaining professional. In the end, you must keep your customers in your shop and away from the competition and the dealer. Introducing TPMS Manager, the tire industry's TPMS management system. TPMS Manager was built by tire dealers for tire dealers. TPMS Manager is a web-based information platform that gives tire dealers and repair facilities all the critical information they need to service TPMS-equipped vehicles. Most important, TPMS Manager is where you need it, when you need it, at the sales counter, prior to service. TPMS Manager is designed around your shop to quickly show important information like whether or not your scan tool is compatible and can shut off the TPMS light, what actions will require a vehicle to be relearned, if there are multiple OE sensors on a vehicle, including why, if there are any pre-service warning conditions that require parts or technology you might not have access to. When it comes to relearn procedures, TPMS Manager has the most accurate and up-to-date information. With just one click, TPMS Manager has multiple relearn procedures based on vehicle service action, multiple relearn procedures based on vehicle attribute, printable pages to include in the tire work order, troubleshooting documents that include TSBs, recalls, and other important information that only the dealership knows. Finding the correct service kit part number for a vehicle is critical and very easy with TPMS Manager. Simply click the service kit button and TPMS Manager directs you to the proper part you need quickly with no guessing. TPMS Manager also includes proper torque settings on the service kits, as well as images on what's included. When it comes to replacing a sensor, TPMS Manager gives you the compatible sensors for the vehicle based on your settings, and then allows the user to create a record for that customer. These records store critical information for when the customer may return. For example, when a customer returns with a tire light on, a dealer can use his TPMS scan tool that records sensor IDs to find which sensor may be causing the problem, and verify in the customer records whether or not it was the sensor that he serviced, without ever having to break the tire down. This is very helpful for speed and accuracy in your shop. It also helps build integrity with your customer. One thing that sets TPMS Manager apart from its competitors is the ability to reverse look up TPMS parts. TPMS Manager has a function called Advanced Search that will allow users to enter specific attributes of a sensor like color, valve design, and shape, then narrow the results to a small field to begin searching. While these parts all look identical in shape, color, and design, this does not mean the communications inside are the same. Simply select a sensor from the list, and TPMS Manager gives the user a picture of the sensor and how to find the part number and where it's printed. To take this a step further, once the correct part number has been found, TPMS Manager gives the user a list of compatible vehicles to fit that individual sensor. With thousands of TPMS sensors from dozens of manufacturers, you'll never again have to guess if a sensor is right for a vehicle. This function will help any tire dealer with labeling sensors for inventory, making good use of old and salvaged sensors, saving time by verifying customer purchase sensors are correct, and troubleshooting in verifying that aftermarket sensors already installed in a vehicle are correct. One of the most important values of TPMS Manager is that you'll have live support by TIA certified instructors and TPMS professionals to answer any technical questions you have and help you through the most difficult TPMS problems you may encounter. TPMS Manager's customers will have access to all TPMS parts and information to service their customers with confidence. There is no other information resource on the market that provides the information that TPMS Manager delivers. Let's take a look at where many tire dealers are getting their TPMS information from currently. Many tire dealers rely on a catalog or flip chart to manage TPMS. Well, the chart is in the garage, not where you need it. It's outdated once it's printed, and many times inaccurate, with corrections coming next year. It's limited to select service kits and vendors. There's no troubleshooting to speak of. You're on your own. You have to flip to the relearn code, and then look the code up separately. This takes too much time. And digital information is the way of the future. Online information is used for every other part of your business. Why is TPMS any different? Many tire dealers rely on these very expensive automotive information data providers for help. Their relearns are published with only the OEM process and dealer scan tools only, not the aftermarket. There are no parts listed. There is no information regarding the servicing of aftermarket sensors. There are pages and pages of irrelevant information and wiring diagrams. Have you ever looked up TPMS information in one of these resources? Many part providers and vendors allow the dealers to use their website. These websites are limited to one vendor only. What if you need to service another vendor's parts? There's very little content regarding the servicing of vehicles. There's outdated and sometimes inaccurate information. No TSPs or troubleshooting, and no OEM information. Some tire stores have been sold a total solution TPMS tool, saying, this is all you need. Well, this is a service tool that lives in the back of the shop. Everything you need on a 3-inch LCD screen. You can't engage the customer at the counter with a diagnostic tool. Not to mention, they can only be used by one person at a time. Lastly, some dealers have been talked into purchasing an expensive balancer or alignment machine with TPMS information for help. Well, these tools are to be used to balance tires or align vehicles. You cannot look up TPMS information while the equipment is performing its intended purpose. Not efficient. The information listed is very difficult to understand. All relearn information is written with the OEM dealership in mind, not the aftermarket. And it's kind of hard to speak with your customer about TPMS around a tire balancer in the shop. The bottom line is, there is no product like it. Ask yourself, do you want some, most, or all TPMS information and support you need? TPMS Manager is the total package, separating it from all other solutions on the market. TPMS Manager gives you all the information you need to service every part of the sales and service process with TPMS. With TPMS Manager, you'll have the confidence and competence to capitalize on TPMS, the fastest growing category in your business.